my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We have got Nature Walk. I'm surrounded by Nature Walk. We have the last block that I've already made, the next block of Will You Be My Neighbor? So I'm excited because after I show you this one, that means at the end of the month, that will be a new block that I get to make, which means I can move forward and get the blocks finished for Will You Be My Neighbor? All of us are making that, so that's super fun. If you haven't showed yours recently over in the group, it would be wonderful to see it. And also I have some cute loot to show you today. Now before we do all that, it is, what is it, afternoon tea day? I think that's what it is. What is that? Yeah, celebrate afternoon tea. So I want to see any quilts that you have with teacups, teapots, teacup or teapot fabric, you know, that kind of a thing. So the Holiday Hoopla book is shipping. If you ordered on Amazon, if you're looking for your local quilt shop, it should be hitting there very soon. And inside, I have Perk Up, which is a cute little teacup banner, tiny little banner. So you put it like, just tuck it into a sweet little spot. It's a great gift for friends. So this is my share. I don't have the quilts back yet. So I have some of the books, but I don't have the quilt yet. So Holiday Hoopla has got my tea share in it. So I would love to see your teacup, teapot. Teapots are great, teapot quilts. All right, so let's talk about Nature Walk. I have got my inner and outer border on. That's what I had to do from last week. And while I was doing that, I thought I'm just gonna, I had some thoughts while I was sewing them, while I was cutting them, and I thought I'd share them with you. So take a look. So when you're sewing these strips, like for inner borders, outer borders, where you are going to piece it, there are two sort of schools of thought. You can just sew them straight across. So you would take your strips, these are the inner borders for Nature Walk, take your strips right sides together and then sew them right across, which I will do so you can see that. It unthreaded itself. Just a moment. Of course it unthreads itself, but I've got a nifty threader on here. So let's see. All right, so this is straight across. And when I open it up, there's the seam. Now the other way is to do a diagonal. And a lot of people like a diagonal. Now if you're really a little stretched on fabric, if you know you want to do, I think you might want to try straight across, but most of the time you don't need that extra special wiggle room. So if you're going to do them on a diagonal, you will put them like this and then sew from the corner down, and then that gives you a different line. And it also will spread apart the seam allowance so that it's across rather than, oops, so that it's across and spreads the sort of the weight of it. So here is a diagonal, and then on the back you have this. So this you have to trim off, and that's a diagonal. So I do it both ways. I don't really have a preference. If I were trying to match the design, like when I get to the outer border for summer camp, that one, if I want to try to match that, which I probably will, I would do a straight across like this, because that's a lot easier to just fold one of the fabrics and then you just move it along until it like matches and, you know, perfectly where it should be. All right, so I'm going to do all of these and sew them, and then I have to cut the outer border for Nature Walk, which are a little bit wider, the green, and then sew those on. So another thought for you. As tempting as it is when you're doing the borders to just take the strip, sew it on, don't measure the sides, you know, trim it up afterwards, which we never do. We just put them on and then go. It is better to measure your side and then cut the border to that size. Then I pin it on either end and pin towards so that I get it nice and flat and even. And it's a little bit of a pain. I I'm not gonna lie, it's a pain. So right now I am on the last two borders, and it'd be like, oh, I could just zip it on there and then cut it off at the end. But nope, nope, nope. I am going to go ahead, measure these, and I will measure the other side as well, and then cut the borders to the exact size. And in the end, that gives you a much tidier quilt. It gives you a square quilt. So that's just a little words of pearls of wisdom. Getting the nature walk down to its last border. We do sometimes get in that spot where we're just like in a hurry, or we don't really feel like measuring. And honestly, I was kind of like that. Particularly I find when I have a bigger quilt and I really need to measure that side, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to. But I know that it makes for a better quilt, and I'll be happier if I do. So I did all the measuring, both sides, and measured my stuff and pinned it all on, so it all worked out great. I can remember years ago, I did do free motion quilting for people, like on my regular home machine, not a long arm. I did a few commission pieces way back in the day to sort of get a feel for whether I liked doing that, which I didn't. I didn't really want to quilt for other people, but one lady's border was like this, literally like this. I mean, it needed to be taken off, and probably multiple of the borders taken off and checked for size. So she needed to do that before I could work on it, because I couldn't even pin it. It was just like, it was like pleated. Valleys and hills. It was like, but that's what will happen if you just slap the borders and things on there and you don't do any kind of measuring. All right, the other thing that I talked about was sharing the quilting on the blue one. This quilting is done by the long armor that Benertex uses. Her name is Linda Leatherstitch, and she is in Florida. I'm sure she does work for other people too, but she does a lot of work for Benertex. And you know, for every line, there's quilts that are made for samples that the company makes, and they have to be quilted and ready. And so there's a lot of deadlines for any of the trade shows and things like that. But what she did is she used Dream wool batting. So with the wool batting, you get more lift, and she did a lot of beautiful fancy feathers on this. So I want to take the camera and I'm going to run it along here and show you each of the blocks and how she quilted it, so that you can be inspired and maybe do that for yours. We'll go in close and see how Linda quilted this. She did a circle with feathers coming out, the quilted feathers, and on the inside some tiny little swirls. And then in between the star points, see, we're at the star points. So she did a feather that's coming in, and then another one coming in from here, and again sort of the swirl in the middle, and you know, that looks so nice. And you can see here, see how it just pops up off the surface because of that wool batting. The wool batting gives it some dimension that you just don't get otherwise. Now in the points, once again, this is full of feathers, so she pretty much is using the feather design and filling in all the areas. But she did a little different in the middle, which I thought was kind of cool. She did these big sort of bubbles, and I really like that. It's just a little bit different, a little bit more playful. And then all along the edge at the top here, which you can really see on the angle, she's got the feathers coming up and the feathers coming down along the whole inner and outer border. Now with the smaller squares here, she is doing feathers as well. You can see them here. But those fabrics, you know, they are just have a lot of pattern to them, so it's harder to see that. In this part, so she's got, look, a little squiggly there in that inner border, and then she's got these sort of loops going along in that outer border. Okay, so there you go, some ideas for your nature walk. She did such a great job with this quilt. I just think that that quilting adds so much extra to it, and the batting in there with that wool giving the relief really makes a huge difference. So if you've never had wool batting before, you might give it a try so that you can see for yourself whether you like that. And if you're getting special quilting, you know, like feathers and things, it's sort of nice because they poof up and give you a little bit more dimension to the quilt. Okay, will you be my neighbor? Hey, you've had a lot of chances lately. I have like 5 new neighbors since February, just within 3 houses of me. We had huge turnover, retirements with several people, like 3 of them. And, you know, one decided to sell her house and get an RV and drive around for a year. So, you know, you just never know. One bought bigger property. Yeah. So there were chances you could have been my neighbor. Okay, this is our block for the week. This is the first block of August that we're doing. Then the next one will be later this month. The tiny little houses, I could just see a whole quilt of these. There are quilt patterns like this out there, similar, but I love the big center square. I think that that is just a great way to showcase. Like here I've got some little deer. So fun. So here was this whole row. Ta-da! So I still can't sew it on because here's the top half, because I need to do the next block. But here at the end of August, I can sew that row on, and then there will be one more row to be done. Then I'll have to think about whether I want a border for it or not. Probably not. I'm probably just going to, I'll see when I get there, but I probably just put this extra on there because I think the size, this width will be really good. So it can hang nicely. I can probably hang it in here or hang it in my living room. Right now, those are the 2 places I mostly hang the bigger ones and rotate them out. All right, so let's do some mail call and then some cute loot. Okay, first I just have to show you, my friend sent me a card just because. Thank you, Lisa. And Lisa in Texas, my friend in Texas, she sent me this. I like your bangs. This, just a little note to say hi. I just thought that was so adorable. It made me giggle. Okay, now I have one here. This one is from Harriet. Harriet in California. Well, isn't that pretty? Look at that. With the handprints. You could do that with your kids and your grandkids. Wouldn't that be cute? Their little handprints. Okay, she cracked me up though. She goes, thread, it's everywhere. Look, the thread got under the tape. Who else has been there? I loved it when I had dogs and they would be walking around with thread on them. It'd be like, okay. So she found this. Today's top 3, and she thought of me, and this is absolutely perfect, Harriet. This is so perfect because they do say, the big they, whoever they are, the experts in time management, that really you should have 3 things, and then anything else is just like icing on the cake. But your dailies should be 3 things, so don't be overstressing yourself. All right, the next one is from Mary in Minnesota. She's had this a little while. She finally got it in the mail to me, which is, you'll see, it's so cute. So look at the darling card. Love when you find quilt cards. They're so cute. So she made me a Shark Week pouch. Aren't they great? Look at this. And then she filled it with some turquoise squares for me and some salvages. So that's super good. I was going to show you a block I made with the salvages. I don't know where I put it. I had a block kept here that is like, oh, all of these fabrics are the ones you sent, but I must have put it away. So I'll keep one for next time. Maybe one of the videos soon, I'll just go ahead and get all the aqua squares out again and put them up and see how many, because right now, pretty much, I mean, here's one in progress. All of the aqua, well, that one's mine, you know that one. But this, they're all things that came from you. I have a little stack on top of the, I've just got them right on top of the machine so that I'm sewing them as I go along. So I can add Harriet's to that. All right, so that's the mail call. Now I want to show you some cute loot. Because remember I said I have things that come in and we've been doing so many fun things that they take up a lot of time for the video, and I haven't been able to squeeze them in. But today is the day. So first I have to ask you though, this might be a mail call and it might just be me, I don't know, but this came in the mail. It was sent from Amazon. It's a pillow form. And I don't remember ordering a pillow form. I did go and look, you can look and see your orders and what was recently delivered. There was no pillow form recently delivered. So if you sent me a pillow form, I thank you very much, because this is actually going to be perfect for, perfect for my Boo Crew. I think it's going to fit on there perfectly. See this CR, then I've got the EW. So I think it comes out to about here. So this is actually the perfect size for the Boo Crew, but I don't know if you sent it or if somehow it was on back order, because I did order some pillow forms a while ago, like a long time ago, but I know that there are things on sort of back order and stuff. I just am very confused, but if you sent it, thank you. Mwah. And thank you for the other mail call. Okay, here's the loot. Here's the loot. Some new things that are out and some that are coming up. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of 2 things that are coming up. So here's some new stitch cards. Look at the strawberry. Look there. You can see it up close. That one. Look at the single strawberry. So cute for our strawberry sew along, right? I need to make that. I'm going to have to email Wendy too and see if she has gotten this to make, because that's so cute. It'd be cute for the label, wouldn't it? To make a little cross stitch label. Then here's a beautiful, this is sort of the Stitch Quarterly. Yeah, the Fat Quarter Shop does this thing called the Stitch Quarterly. And so 4 times a year, they're fairly seasonal. They come out with a cross stitch and they're always really, really nice. You can still get it, but I think you can also, it comes in a club too. Probably get a discount with the club. But I think that that's gorgeous. I love the ball jars, although I love them without handles. So they look like original ball jars. I would prefer that than a handle. That's just me. And then here's one. This is from Lori Holt. You are the boss of your quilt. You're the boss of your own quilt. So if you need a reminder and you like to cross stitch, this one's super cute. All right, here's the other cute loot, and it might look a lot like this. We've got some new Sloan Zone things, and my friend Kate Spain, who is the designer of all of the graphics and everything, she's a graphics artist, and this, she's just got ideas galore. So let me just get my little bucket here and show you. There is some really, really darling things. So now we have a little zippy bag. See you online. Red and turquoise. So here's the zippy bag, and it's got a nice, it's got like a gusset, so you can open it up, fill it up, and use it. So that is super cool. And we're going to do a little giveaway with one of these. I'm coordinating that with her, so stay tuned. The mugs are these insulated mugs. They come in the light blue, they come in silver, they come in red, of course. See you online. And they come in like a royal blue. See, I had to use a blue one today because, it goes with the quilts. And we have 2 more things. That's not it. I've got stickers. Oh my gosh, stickers. Aren't these the cutest things ever? Kate is so talented. So she surprised me by putting this together. I love it. And we have a new t-shirt, the ball style, the baseball style, with the raglan sleeves, and it has a light colored emblem in the middle, which I am totally loving. This is a bigger size. This is an XL. This would be like a sleep shirt size for me. So it's a little bigger than for me. I've got an XL coming, which is my normal size to wear with all of this stuff. But I love how it looks with the light background on the emblem. The Sloan Zone. So okay, my friend, you are going to finish up your nature walk, and if you have not joined for Will You Be My Neighbor, you're missing out. But you can always just do this block this week and jump in and get started. So here we go. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I love you. Mwah. And I will see you online. Bye-bye.